All right, so we just completed our rows 31 through 36. We have 42 stitches in each stitch around for those rows, and now it's gone from flat to looking more like a head shape. For the next round, round 37, we're going to do 5 single crochets, 1 decrease, and we're going to do that 6 times around. So starting here, we'll take our stitch marker out. We're going to start to kind of close up the circle this time now. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're going to do a decrease right here. So okay, and we're going to do that, like I said, all the way around until we get back to the beginning. Okay, so we're now at the end of row 37. We've done our 5 single crochet, 1 decrease, 6 times around. We've got 36 stitches. For row 38, we're going to do another 2 single crochet and a decrease to start off. So we have our 1 and 2. Place my stitch marker, of course, and we're going to do a decrease. And then now for the rest of the round, we're going to go 4 single crochet, 1 decrease. We're going to do it 5 times around. I'll do the first one with you. So we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll do our decrease. Okay, and I'll do that 4 more times. I'll meet you there. I'm doing my last decrease for the 5 times. Now we're left with 2 single crochets right here in the last 2 stitches to complete the round. You should have 30 stitches around total. Now for row 39, it's going to be 3 single crochets, 1 decrease, 6 times around for the whole round. And I will do the first one again with you. So we have our 1, 2, 3 single crochets and the 1 decrease. Continue doing that all the way around for 5 more times. I'll meet you there. All right, so we just finished with row 39. You should end up with 24 stitches around. At this point, this is when we're going to want to stuff, but make sure we don't just stuff this area, that we're stuffing way down in here to where the neck is. Make sure that we're stuffing in there too, so it's sturdy and that the head's not bending over. Aside from stuffing the head, I would also take the time to use these to put them into the head. For the eye placement, it's just going to be easier than stuffing all the stuffing in and then trying to put these in afterwards. Just figure out your eye placement and where you want to put them and pop these in with a little plastic thing on the inside to secure the eye. So this is about the placement that I was going to go with. I'm going to keep some distance apart. Make sure not to do it too high up because you still have to put her eyebrows on. She's going to have hair that's covering here. So figured this is about where I would like them to secure them. I'm going to go onto the inside like this. I usually flip it out like this. You're going to take your stitch marker, your eye secure piece, and I put it this way so you can get a little bit better of a connection. So just like that. Do it with the other one. And once you put these on and you place these little plastic pieces on the back, you cannot move your eyes. They're secure and they are stuck there to stay. Okay, so now for row 40, we're going to be doing 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, and then we're going to be doing 2 single crochet, 1 decrease 5 times around. starting with our 1 single crochet and a stitch marker in that spot. Then we do a decrease. So just like we showed you before, in through those front loops, pull up the thread, just like that. And then we'll continue on with our 2 single crochets. And a decrease. And you'll do that 4 more times, followed by that single crochet at the very end. We reached the end of that round. You should have 18 stitches now at the top. Moving on to our next step, which is step 41, row 41. You're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, and you're going to do that 6 times around. So it's for every single crochet, you're going to do a decrease, which is going to kind of close this up a lot more. Okay, so you've just now completed row 41, and it should be looking like this. 12 stitches around. For row 20 or 40, sorry, for row 42, you're going to do 6 decreases just to close all of this up. So let's get this stitch marker off here. Sorry. And you're just going to do all decreases around until we close it up. So it's grabbing loops like this. So 1 decrease. 2. Oops. Needle stuck. 3. There's 4. And 5. And the last one here. 6. All that's left to do here now is just to cut this, fasten it off. Now for this one, we'll be using the needle that was provided here at the kit to sew the rest of this part in. For me, I grab a couple of the loops like this so that it tries to sit a little flatter. I know we're gonna have her hair over it, but I try to go through some of the loops like this first. From that point on, you could just go right back through. I want to poke it right out the back here. There we go. Do that, and then we'll cut this off here. I like to pull it tight when I cut it. That way the other piece will just kind of hide back into the piece. There we go. For our next step, we're going to be working on her skirt. So we're going to go back to our pink yarn. Instructions say that we're going to be starting at the center stitch here on the back side. I'm going to insert a hook. So we have this ridge from where we were doing our back loops only. We're going to insert here in this one. It's right center in her back. There we go, just like this. Now we're going to start our row 1 of skirt. I'm going to pull up a loop just like we normally would. We'll pull this up, and it wants us to continue with a 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 14 times all the way around. With that, trying to grab the tail here, sorry. Here we go. Grab our tail here. We're going to go insert our hook, pull up our loop, and that's going to be one single crochet. And the next one, we're going to do our increase. So we're going to pull up again right here, grabbing this loop, try to keep this tucked in, pull up our thread, and we're going to single crochet. We're going to go back into that same loop for the increase right here and make our second. There we go. So we have our one single crochet and the increase, and we're going to do that all the way until we get back here to this spot. We'll catch you there. Okay, so now that we've made it to the end, we should have 42 rounds that look just like this on the doll. Starting the skirt, we're going to move on to row 2. So it says that just do 42 single crochets all the way in the round. So single crochet each stitch that we have here, just to kind of continue the skirt on here. And then when we get to the end, I'll catch you guys back here at the end of the round. Okay, so we just finished row 2. We're going to go on to row 3, which is 13 single crochets, 1 increase, and you can do that 3 times all the way around. So 13 single crochets. Oops. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then we're doing our increase here in this round, or this stitch. Do our increase, and then you're going to continue doing that same pattern until you get to the end. So we just completed row 3. We're going to do row 4, which is just 45 single crochets all the way around. So just a simple single crochet all the way around until we get to back to the beginning. We just completed row 4. We've got our 45 single crochets around. We're back at the top. For row 5, it's going to be 7 single crochets and an increase into 14 single crochets and increase 2 times with a single crochet, or 7 single crochets at the end. So starting that, we do start with our 7 single crochets. You have your 1, 2, place the place marker, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then you'll do an increase, which is the 2 single crochets in the same space. After that, now we're starting with the 14 single crochets with the 1 increase 2 times. And then when you do your 14, you'll do another increase, repeat that, and we'll meet you back at the end. Now that you're done with row 5, we're going to do rows 6 and row 7. All you're going to do for these 2 next rows, it's going to be single crochets for all the 48 crochets around the circle. So just 2 times around for 2 rows, you're just going to single crochet all the way around. Now we just completed rows 6 and 7 of your 48 single crochets around. We're back at the front, or at the end. For row 8, it's going to be 11 single crochets with 1 single increase, and we're going to do that 4 times around. So it's going to be, we'll do our 1 single crochet, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then you're going to do the increase, which is 2 in the same crochet space. And again, you'll do that 3 more times. We'll meet back here at the end. Now we're back at the start here. For rows 9 and 10, we're going to do the single crochets all the way around. We should have 52 all the way across. So we're going to do 2 rows of 52, and then we'll come back here. So when you're done with your 2 rows 9 and 10 of 52 single crochets around, come back, we're going to do row 11. Row 11 is going to be 6 single crochets with an increase, and then you're going to go on to do 12 single crochets, 1 increase, 3 times, and at the end you're going to finish off with 6 single crochets. So I'll do the first bit with you. There's 2, 3, stitch marker, 4, 5, and 6 with our increase. And then we do our 12 single crochets. Seven, 8, 11 and 12, and an increase. Now you're going to continue doing the 12 increase 2 more times, finishing off with that 6 single crochet, and we'll meet back here at the end. So we're just getting to the end here, and I wanted to showcase that we're doing our 12 and increase, and then we're finishing it off with the 6 stitches. So it's just 6 individual single crochets right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, 5, and 6. And for the next couple of rounds, it's going to have you do another just single crochet round. So it's be for rows 12 and 13. Single crochet all the way around until we get to the beginning. We're going to do that 2 times. So now we've reached row 14. On this one, we're going to be doing a slip stitch and a chain. So instead of doing like the single crochet, you kind of enter in just like the same way you would to do a single crochet. You'll pull up that loop, but you'll pull it through this one here, and that's your slip stitch. So you're going to do that. Mark my stitch marker. And then it asks for you to chain like this, and then you'll slip stitch into the next space. Just like this. And again, I'll do it again for you. We're gonna chain 1 into the next space over, slip stitch. And you're gonna keep doing that until you get all the way back to your stitch marker for 56 rows, or 56 chains, pardon. So now that you made it to the end, it should look something like this. It's got like a cute little like ruffle design for the bottom of the skirt. For this part, we used up pretty much all of that pink, but for this part we're going to take this out. Go ahead and cut the excess off because you're going to be tucking the rest of it into the skirt. So fasten off, just pull the loop through, and that needle that they provided, you're going to kind of feed it through the project so we can hide the rest of the thread. I go up underneath just like this to try to hide it in those stitches. And you don't have to do too much of it. Like that should be even enough. Oops. But just to be sure, if you want to do a few extra spaces, it's not going to hurt anything. Just be a little bit more secure. I like to go sideways too, so it doesn't just get straight pulled out. So right underneath all these little stitches here, like so. And once you cut that all off, pull it and it goes right into the piece, just like that.